It's Arcade Couch, but at E3, you just watch the show. Now what?
2
morons, maybe 4. Talk about the conference afterwards, oh yeah.
Welcome to Arcade Couch's special episode for Nintendo wrap-up post-show for their Nintendo Direct for E3 2019. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Dylan, it's very early.
It is very early, but to be fair, you have had sleep.
Yeah, I have, so...
You've slept. I have not had sleep. And as I was saying when I was about to watch the Nintendo thing, people, the kind of funnies on before, they've gone to bed, they've gone back up, they're doing pro shows again. I'm still fucking awake the entire time. I've been awake for nearly 24 hours at this stage. It's quite ridiculous. Anyway, we just watched the Nintendo E3 conference direct at 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. What were your overall thoughts, Ashley? Did you like it? Was it okay?
It was solid. I mean, there was nothing that really blew me away. I mean, there was no massive surprises, I think, other than the DLC for Smash, but everything else I think had been announced or was something wasn't really for me. So yeah, solid showing again, but I feel like it's a running theme this E3.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it was good, right? So it was a good showing. I don't think it was as good as it could have been. And the reason I don't think it was as good as it could have been is simply because of the Animal Crossing thing. Because we come into this direct, Nintendo says ahead of time that this direct is going to be solely focused on 2019 games. And everyone's like, okay, that's fine. But we all know that Animal Crossing was originally announced for 2019. So we're all like, cool. They're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, including like Link's Awakening. That'll be coming out soon. They're going to talk about Animal Crossing. They'll give a release date for that. That's going to be like the big game for the year. Luigi's Mansion 2, we don't have a release date for, so we'll have to get a release date for that. So on and so forth. And then I think not having to push Animal Crossing, which, shit happens sometimes with release dates, but I do feel like pushing that is annoying someone,
Yeah.
So doesn't ruin it. I don't think it like ruins it overall, but I definitely feel like it falters what could have been a much greater direct overall. But like when I flick down through my notes and see what I got written in front of me, it's like they gave release dates for stuff, trailers for stuff that just to be like, hey, this is a thing. Remember, here's a date for this. This is a thing happening. We got 2 Smash Bros. Character reveals. We've got several new games coming over to Switch, including like stuff like which we'll talk about. So I feel like overall it was a decent showing, and for the most part, it's 90%, I'd say, stuff that's coming out this year, which is good considering most of E3 this year has been...
There's been no dates or 2020.
2020. What have you got for this game? We're not showing any gameplay, or it's coming out next year, so it's not really helpful at all. So I do feel like considering a lot of this stuff is at least coming out this year, even if they didn't have like a solid 2019 date, a lot of it still said like some point at 2019, it's still better than 2020 or some bullshit like that. So all right, let's run down through what was announced. So the first thing that they opened with, Smash Bros. Character, I say character in quotation marks as well, the hero is announced. So I took this as, and obviously a press release after we finish recording this could sum up any potential problems throughout any of these stories, but I took it as it's all of the Dragon Quest, like 4, 5, 6, the selection of Dragon Quest characters where they're part of one character and you'll just be able to switch them out or something. Yeah, is how I took it.
It seems like
Pokemon
the
trainer?
11 character was the main one, and then the rest will be like Echo Fighters, like the Castlevania pack they did.
Are they Echo Fighters though? Because they each had like separate moves and stuff.
They all look the same, and they all seem to have swords and shit. So I assume they're all the same.
I don't know. I can really
except
keep
small
up
tweaks and that sort of thing. But yeah.
But also, the announcement's going to 100% hit or miss, because if you love Dragon Quest. If you love Dragon Quest, you're going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is exciting. If you give zero shits about Dragon Quest, it's obviously much like adding Fire Emblem characters into Smash. You're just like, cool, yep, character thing. Especially since they don't have names, It's just, that's why it's called the hero. Who do you play as in the Dragon Quest games? The hero. Like, there's no...
The hero 8.
They're not very...
The hero 9.
Yeah, they're not very characterized characters, but, that's cool. And as I've talked about recently, quite a lot somehow over the last couple of weeks, Dragon Quest has a huge following in Japan, so I feel like this is good somewhat. So then we go to the people part of it, the non-games intermission type stuff, and we
very small amount of people in this one.
Yeah, very focused, I guess. Not too much time, but that's fine. We get introduced to Bowser, though, for the first time. And by Bowser, I mean Doug Bowser, who's now the head of America Nintendo. First time we've seen him in a direct, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know if it's
going to be a thing from now on.
I don't know if it's weird. They had this very cute interaction with animated Bowser in the background, and he had a tie on. And
he did. He was ready to do the job.
I liked all this, though. I thought it was funny. Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Obviously, play
into the memes.
Obviously, just made it a thing. So
yeah, play into the memes. Why not? Yeah. Sure. I don't know if it's weird or not to say like judge an actual person, but how did you feel about Doug Bowser? His like screen presence and stuff.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was only there for like 30 seconds.
He wasn't really there that much, really. Yeah.
No, he was there for this is the person for Nintendo America.
Yeah.
But it looks like he'll be on Treehouse a lot more, so that's probably a bit more of a
that's true.
Thing to get to know him better.
Yeah. It was like, right, first impressions are cool. You can present fine. You didn't have any problems, but you could do a joke about the whole Bowser thing. So, sure, points, I guess. That's fine. So then they showed the longest trailer, I think, in the whole direct, which was for Luigi's Mansion 3. Do you think anything was longer than this?
Not feel that like I can remember. The longest
one. I feel like this was the only thing that dragged.
It actually showed gameplay mechanics and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, but I feel like it dragged. I feel like it went a bit too long. Like
maybe just compared to everything else.
Well, just overall, I feel like because they started going over and they got this voiceover and they started explaining like that you can smash ghosts, you can whack ghosts, you can plunge a ghost, you can do all these things. I'm like, if there was like 4 or 5 different mechanics they showed, maybe just cut it back to 3, 2 or something. You know, just cut like 1 or 2 of them and so on and so forth. But they showed a bunch of single player mechanics. They introduced you to what was it, Guichi? Guigi, thank you. Who is a GUI version of a Luigi, which you'll probably get in the game, and you can use in single player, but also if you hand someone else your spare Switch remote, they can control it. So there's some co-op action for you, and you need to use Guichi to reach hidden areas and stuff. And all the single player stuff looks cool. Every time I see this game, I'm like, cool, I'm down. At one stage, I was like, oh, I really wish I could play. Much like other games that are on 3DS that I wish would just get ported. I'm like, I wish I could play Luigi's Mansion 2 before this releases, but they never actually bothered bringing it over, which is a bit annoying. And then they talked about an online multiplayer mode, which just seemed like some co-op type thing where you work together to clear rooms together with people.
Battle to clear the most.
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
Didn't seem super exciting, but it's a thing that exists and it's online, so... Not you must have 2 Switches in the same room next to one another, so cool. The next thing I'm pretty excited about, to be honest. Well, I'm optimistic and hopeful for it to be really cool. So they showed this Dark Crystal's Tactics game coming 2019, and now as I was watching it, was both like Dark Crystal. I said I've watched it like years and years ago when I was a kid. I don't have a big attachment to the property. With it's getting a prequel Netflix series, which is, in case you didn't know that's why they've got this Tactics game. Netflix is doing a prequel series, and Netflix is suddenly getting into like pushing out games for their properties and stuff. So that's how this has all come about. I'm intrigued in the prequel thing. I watched the trailer for it. Did you watch the prequel trailer for the Netflix thing? Okay. I watched the trailer for that. I'm like, this looks cool. I'm intrigued. It makes me want to rewatch the movie. Cool. But my overall interest in the game isn't really to do with the Dark Crystal property. It's to do with it just being a tactics game on the Switch. Yeah. So, yes, please. I mean, I just like the genre. We don't get many games in this
like that,
like this game. So, if the game is good, or even if the game's like a 7 out of 10 type game, a 7 out of 10 tactics game, I'm cool. That's sold me. You know, I just want a decent tactics game that I can play for like 20 hours or so on my Switch with a decent campaign and stuff. What do you think of this? You like these sorts of games, don't you? These similar sorts of games? Yeah,
looks good. I mean, I have no attachment to the property, so that obviously is a bit of a barrier, but other than that...
Well, neither do I. I'm saying it doesn't matter. I just want the gameplay.
Yeah, we'll need to see a bit more of it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting tie-in. That Dark Crystal wasn't one of the first Netflix things I would have thought they'd tied in.
Well, but
I guess it makes sense.
The Netflix panel thing happens. What, today, tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow, something like that.
Something like that. So I presume they'll show off this. They'll show off Stranger Things. We'll get gameplay of both of these things more over the next 24 hours, 48 hours after this episode.
Maybe
drops.
something else.
Maybe something else as well. Which
they'll announce something else like they're going to do for other stuff, hopefully.
Maybe. We'll see. If I get more gameplay out of that thing, then cool.
Yeah.
Next thing was shown Link's Awakening. This looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic the first time we saw it. It looks great now. My favorite moment in that whole trailer that was played was the fishing part, because it was just quite adorable when Link pulled up the fish and then kind of like looked towards the camera, like looked towards you as the player, was like, I got a fish. And I'm like, oh, you did, Link.
Yeah.
Like, good on you.
Good work, Link.
Good work, Link. You really
definitely sold on that animation style.
Yeah, the art style's fantastic.
It's good.
It's really weird. Like, it's not. I don't know. I still don't know how you describe it.
Describe it,
really.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like a kids' cartoon type thing. It's not quite like Play-Doh or claymation or something, but it seems like somewhere in between those sorts of things, I guess. But so it looks great. For someone who, I feel like for people who haven't played the original game, it's like it just looks like a cool Zelda game. For people who have played the game before, there's like other interesting elements being shown and introduced, like cute fishing
cuteness
being added, cuteness just being overflooded with it, which is good, because the original, if you go play it, I would not use cute to describe that game.
Describe it
at all. No, it would not come up on a list of adjectives to describe the game at all. So the other thing they announced is that it's getting a random, I wrote down random dungeon generator, basically. It seems that throughout the game you'll pick up squares from, I presume, enemies, chests, so on and so forth, and then you're able to like link them all together, and you're able to then form a dungeon, and then you're able to go through the dungeon to find rewards within. It doesn't seem like a thing where you'll be able to like make dungeons and share them with your friends or something. It just seems like an extra way for you to do dungeons and seek out,
I guess,
stuff. Sure.
It's interesting.
Doesn't like super excite me, but
weird.
it's a thing that adds something to the game, I guess. Maybe a little bit more replay value if you just enjoy dungeoning in Zelda, I guess. Then got a release date, which, as I was saying when I was watching it, leaked about a couple hours before the Nintendo Direct. Amazon put up for 5 minutes and got taken down, and that release date turned out to be true, which is September 20th this year. So that's cool that this is coming out this year. Definitely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you may be like, oh, they didn't show anything super exciting and stuff, but it's like, yeah, but we're getting this. We got a release date for Links and stuff. Like, that's what I think. We know that for your Switch console this year, I feel like this Direct sets up a lot of cool games coming this year. Even though Luigi's Mansion didn't get a set month or date or anything, they still said it's coming this year. So for between the next 6 months, you got to like. I'm looking at what we've already talked about so far, and this is why I'm saying that this is quite good, because if I played Smash, bunch of characters coming to it, right? Luigi's Mansion, I want to play that. Link's Awakening, I want to play that. Dark Crystal Tactics, I want to play that. So far, I'm just ticking boxes of games I want to play on my console. You know, even if they're not blowing my mind, they are just, yes, I'll play that. Yes, I'll play that. Yes, I'll play that. And they're all coming this year within the next six months. So next thing they got was Trials of Mana is coming to Switch in 2020, which is a new Mana game. I don't really know the Mana franchise.
I think it's a remake.
Or a remake or something. And then Collection of Mana, which is a collection of the first 3, I think it was, games, is out today. That's shadow dropping within the next couple hours of recording this, or now. Could be up by now, have you.
So Trials of Mana is a HD remake of Taisen Detsuna 3, the third game in the Secrets of Mana series, which never made its way outside of Japan.
There you go. I'm sure for people that like that franchise, that's exciting news.
Yeah.
So that's coming next year, and to tide you over, if you're a fan of the franchise, you have the collection out of 3 games to play today. So, cool. More JRPGs on the fucking Switch. The next announcement is a game where I'm shocked. It was a rumor that was going around for ages. I did not believe it, because I'm like, that's just too weird and somewhat crazy to me. And of all the things, you may be like, it's not that crazy deal. And I'm like, it is to me, it was pretty fucking crazy, which is The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch, and it's the complete edition, which means it'll have all the expansions and stuff in it as well. Pretty fucking cool. I feel like
better get a new SD card.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I feel like you could be very jaded looking at this announcement because it's like if you own other consoles and you've already played the game, obviously this isn't going to get you super pumped. If you're someone out there who is just a Nintendo player and and they exist, believe it or not, someone who just brought your console life cycle for the last couple of years has been Nintendo, Wii U, now you're onto Switch, and you see games over here in the left-hand side out of the corner of your eye, you're watching your friends play The Witcher 3, and like the year that came out, everyone's talking about, you're like, but I can't afford to buy like a PlayStation or something just for one game, so I'll just stick to my Switch. And now you've got access to The Witcher. That's pretty fucking cool. Like, Nintendo fans now have access to one of the best games of the last 5 years. Yes, that is good. It is also coming out this year. I, as someone who's already beat it, I don't know if I'd fully play through it again because I don't have that time. But at the same time, I'm highly intrigued and want to play it solely just to see how it runs.
Yeah.
That's what intrigues me the most. I'm hoping and assuming it might actually run pretty well because what we saw in the gameplay you could tell was graphically very downgraded,
reduced,
very, very, like it seemed lower than low quality settings on PC is what I'd say is how it looked to me. And I'm not saying it looked like trash. I'm saying it looked like what you would think The Witch would have to look like to run on the Switch.
The Nintendo Switch.
Especially to try and make it run well in like handheld mode at 720 and these sorts of things. I'm wondering if it'll be like the Bethesda games because Bethesda games in the past have the whole like Wolfenstein and Doom have the thing where in handheld mode they run pretty trash apparently and in docked mode they run fine or okay. So we'll have to wait and see. But either way, I think that's an awesome announcement for sure. So next thing they showed was Fire Emblem Three Houses, July 26th. It was just a story trailer once again. And as I was saying when I was watching it, I'm finding it quite weird because I want to get into this game, right? I've never played a Fire Emblem game before. They've always been on the DS systems. I've never particularly been interested in them. Now that they're bringing this one, a mainline Fire Emblem game over to the Switch, I'm like, cool, hook me in. And we've seen a couple now of these anime story trailers. And I'm like, I like what's going. I feel like I'm watching an anime. Cool. And I just feel like I needed a gameplay trailer to really kind of be like hooked and explain to me as a new intrigued Fire Emblem potential player, what exactly Fire Emblem is, because I don't feel like any of the trailers they've shown tell me what the fuck Fire Emblem is, even though I kind of know. But I'm thinking for other people like me who may be interested in the franchise, these trailers just showing all the anime storyline stuff isn't really helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's something like a Treehouse thing they're going to be doing over the weekend or week. They're going to be showing up on GameSpot. The show wants to be on IGN showing off gameplay because that's going to work better than a 3-minute trailer showcasing the gameplay of the game.
I agree, but at the same time, the only reason I'm going to say I feel like they could have done a combination trailer here of story plus some gameplay just cut in to show you what the game looks like is because the last direct where they showed this off was a full anime trailer as well. You know, it's been done. They've had that ground covered, so I just feel like they could have at least.
It is only like a month away though, so
yeah, no, that's even more reason to do an intercut trailer to me. But like. You are somewhat right, I think. Obviously, I presume as much that they will be showing the gameplay. Right. I do believe and would presume that they'll show the gameplay and stuff elsewhere, but you got to take into account how many people aren't going to watch these streams and are just going to watch the direct.
That's true.
It's a core thing.
Honestly, I feel like that's something that's been happening all to E3. Like,
yeah, 100%.
There's been very little gameplay, and they're obviously like, we'll just show people go search for it if they're interested.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to Buddy in the chat as well. He just wrote Switcher 3, which I didn't actually think of, and that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm keen. That's the thing. I want to get pumped and excited about potentially trying my first Fire Emblem game. And I feel like they should do that to me in their direct, not make me go watch GameSpot streams or Treehouse streams or whatever else. right, so next thing they announced was this was a bit weird, but whatever. This is probably the low. I think this is the worst thing shown. Let me flick through. Yeah, I honestly feel like this is the worst thing they showed. Was this weird trailer for Resident Evil 5 and 6?
It made no sense.
They have these.
Why are you going into this creepy house?
Yeah,
just to play it in docked mode.
Actors go into a creepy house. The house looked like the house from Resident Evil 7. I'm presuming Resident Evil 7 is coming to Switch. That would have been really cool. And then they announced that Resident Evil 5 and 6. 6 is the most hated game in the franchise, I think, or presume.
I don't know.
So, like, it was a very underwhelming and weird announcement. I like 5. I think 5 is okay. 6, I never bothered actually playing, but sure, Resident Evil's coming. So then we got No More Heroes 3. That was announced. That's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. This was kind of rumored because what's his face? I can't remember the guy's name. The head of the studio was teasing it basically. But we haven't had No More Heroes for a while. A proper No More Heroes. We have had last year that mini game.
Travis Strikes Back.
Travis Strikes Back was released. So we have had some sort of spin-off thing, but now we're getting a proper Travis No More Heroes 3 game. Cool. Obviously, this was a cinematic trailer. Confirms it's coming for 2020. If you're not a fan of the franchise, I guess this is a nothing announcement. But for core Nintendo fans, particularly like following along from like the Wii through to the Wii U period up to now, this is a game that I believe most people have been after. So I think this is one of those announcements of, hey, it exists, we're working on it, it's coming out next year, is perfectly fine. And I didn't need to show gameplay in this because it was just a cool trailer and way to confirm that the game is actually happening and excite people out. And if it comes out next year, then it's like, okay, cool. Next time they show it, hopefully they show gameplay. If they it's fine. Especially in a direct that's not full of heaps of these things. Then we got a Contra new game. So it was a new game and then a collection, right? It was two things. Yeah. So the new Contra game I didn't recognize was Contra, and I've played Contra and I didn't recognize it was Contra at all. So that was a it's
3D Contra, so yeah.
And it looked like trash, to be honest. Visually,
it had a panda.
The panda was cool. The panda was pretty cool. But yeah, like fidelity wise, the game looked.
It just didn't look very good.
It didn't look very good at all.
I don't know if it just the stream wasn't very good.
No, that was the game.
No, it looked like it was the game.
That was definitely
like a bit of a mess.
Yeah. The Contra Anniversary Collection, though, which is shadow dropped today, that's cool. That has a fan base. If you haven't played any of those games before, they're pretty fun. Depending on the price, I would even buy that and just fuck around in it for a little bit just because they're fun, cool music and stuff like that. So sure, why not Contra? Next thing was Daemon X Machina, which we've had talked about for the last 2 years probably at this stage. I feel at least a year and a half or something. I feel like for a little while. They obviously had that demo thing drop 6+ months ago, whenever that was, which didn't go over super well. So I'm going to hope that they've made improvements since then, which I think was kind of the point because they kept asking for feedback on that demo. They were like, hey, play the demo and give us feedback. So I think they knew that there was some problems they had to address potentially. But what they showed, I think it looked graphically better than previous times I've seen it. So I think that's a plus. You'd obviously have to play it to really and see gameplay to truly judge it. But the overall style of it looked a lot better. But it still just looks like a mech anime thing. And if that's not interesting you, then that's never going to interest you, no matter what they show. I'm intrigued if it's good. Like I'm down for an 8-hour, hopefully not super long mech anime game on my Switch. But the demo thing didn't leave great impressions, so we'll hopefully people play it at E3 and then tell me, and by tell me I mean post an article and I read it and it says, hey, it's actually pretty good. Now
you want to play this?
Yeah, you want to play this? So September 13th 2009 that's coming out. So another game. So where are we stacking up? We got July, September. They've literally got a big game coming out every month. Yeah, here we go. So then they announced Panzer Dragoon or Dragon or Dragoon coming this winter, which we should have double checked before we started recording actually, but I'm pretty sure that this is a franchise that has some sort of caliber to it. I recognize the name. I just don't I don't recall ever playing one or knowing what the hell they are, but I'm pretty sure their name is ringing the bells, as the kids would say, I think.
Yeah, apparently it's a remake. So this is a pretty big series from first release in 1995. Last release has been since 2002. So
there you go.
It's been dormant for a while.
There you go. And it's like if we're recognizing the franchise name, even if we're not fans of the game, it's like it must be prominent enough and have a fan base that got excited about this. So that's the thing.
Yep.
They did some somewhat unnecessary Pokemon Sword and Shield talk. I felt the only thing they announced that was new was that the Pokeball Plus will work with Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is cool, I suppose, because that was a $120 investment that a lot of people made last year. And if they're not, if they don't play Pokemon Go, it's pretty much dead to them after that. Like I use mine primarily for Pokemon Go as a it spins Pokestops as you drive past them and stuff, so that's handy. But being able to play with this now, you're going to be able to put a Pokemon in it from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which you could do with Let's Go as well. And they said, unlock stuff. They didn't say what. It's I presume it'll help.
Hats.
Maybe it'll just level up your Pokemon, because like in Pokemon Let's Go, you put a Pokemon in, you take it out, it gets a whole bunch of XP. Like that's just predominant type thing. And they showed off a new gym leader, which is good. You can play it at a demo if you had E3, but we did see a new gym leader. Just want to point out that gym leader had a perfectly fine looking face, and Reddit has been writing these theories, and I'm kind of on board at this stage. Reddit has been writing these theories that the gym leader that we saw for the first one, the grass gym leader, is a Ditto, and that's why his face is fucked up. And I'm on board with this theory.
He's not a Ditto.
He's a Ditto. I'm on board with this theory.
Some people just look different.
He don't look right. You look all right. So we got Astral Chain trailer. Astral Chain trailer. This looks really cool. I thought it looked really cool when they announced it, obviously last year. Everything we saw here looked exciting. I thought. I thought it looked better graphically, once again, kind of like some of the games we're talking about here, unless that's just my memory playing tricks on me, of course, which is a high possibility. August 30th, I'm excited for this. I probably want to play this as well. And once again, this is a big title for the Switch. Like a lot of people are looking forward to this one. We're ticking another box here. We got September, we got August, we got July. Just saying.
Yeah.
Nintendo's doing a good job. This
I'll be interested to see how it controls. That's going to be the big thing. How it actually plays.
Maybe like shit unless you have a Pro controller plugged in.
Yeah.
I'll have to see. But yeah, I'm excited for that. It looks really interesting, I think. I'm just hoping it's not too long, is my thing. I don't want like a 30-40 hour thing. I'm hoping it's like 20 tops kind of thing. So then we got Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 trailer for that, releasing July 19th. So next month. I reckon this game will do quite well, because we know this game had an audience when it was on PS3 and stuff. So I reckon this is going to be a secret, like really well doing Switch game for the year.
Unless it's terrible, is the only thing that could hold it back.
The other ones run bad and people still love them. So what difference does it make?
As long as it's like fun. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to look the prettiest, but
yeah.
And it doesn't look the prettiest.
No, the other ones didn't look very pretty, and the other ones had technical issues, but they were still like, they still sat above the being unplayable level. So they all had technical issues. This is cool. I like what I saw. It looks like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. So if you like those games, which is just pick a cool character, pick your Marvel character that you like, and press buttons and hit goons and walk into another.
Yep. That's
pretty much all you do.
Looks like they're going to add DLC.
Yeah. So they announced
or something.
3 DLCs that'll be coming out over the period of the next, I don't know, year maybe.
Yeah.
So it's an expansion pass that you can buy, which will give you access to a Marvel Knights pack, a Fantastic Four pack, and an X-Men pack coming over the future. So obviously the X-Men and Fantastic Four one makes sense. Marvel Knights is what, like Black Panther and shit. I haven't really read.
Like Daredevil and stuff.
I guess.
Is that line? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know too much Marvel Knights stuff, to be honest. But either way, cool. It's a thing. So we got Cadence of Hyrule. It's coming out in a couple days. Comes out June 13th, which should be out tomorrow. So maybe it's 14th for us, I guess, if we're trying to fix the dates correctly here. Cool. Picking that up 100%. Every time I see that game, Zelda music. I haven't played the other Cadence game before.
The Crypt of the
Necromancer. Necrodancer, even though it was on sale on Steam the other day, and I thought about it, but I was like, why? This game's going to be out soon.
Why?
Yeah, I'll just wait for the Zelda music one. So, keen to pick this one up for sure. The next one, I'm going to say is up for the debate if it's bad or good, because I think it has potential. So we got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020. Coming November. Usually when these games come out every couple of years when the Olympics are on, they're trash. They're assumed to be trash. And we all know they're going to be trash. This one looks to have a huge upstep from the last ones. And I'm not saying just because it looks better, it'll play better. But I'm like...
It looks like they put a bit more effort in.
It just... Yeah, it looks like there's might be a bit more effort and fun to it. Like, I'm not against the idea of these games in general. You know, like you can do a fun multiplayer or even single player based mini game type thing. And you can have that be a bit of fun with a bunch of Sonic and Mario characters and stuff. They just never usually do them very well. And the mini games are boring and tedious and shit. And they run bad. And that's the reason most people don't like them. So, but maybe this is the one to break the camel's back.
Maybe.
Is that saying? I don't know. Well,
break the curse.
Yeah. There's nothing to back up my theory other than being like, it looks better.
Looks good.
We'll have to see. Olympics, get hyped. Okay, so then the big thing. Well, the big thing in quotation marks with the asterisks of it was big until it got pushed.
It's big until it wasn't.
It was big until it wasn't. And I'm going to assume Twitter was on fire as this was announced. So Animal Crossing New Horizons was officially announced. You will arrive on a deserted island, it seems, and then I took it as you would slowly build up a tent and then eventually build into a town. Is that how you took it, or did you take it?
That's what I understood. Like, you slowly build up a town. Mm-hmm. Because they're taking flights to a deserted island, so it can't be that deserted.
Yeah, so it's not like you crash
People
land
can end
there.
up there.
So it's like you purposely go there, and then maybe after a while people start flying down and arriving too, and then you start building up this town, I guess. Either way, it looked like Animal Crossing. So that ticks the box. I don't feel like it really needed to do anything groundbreaking. Hey, does it look like Animal Crossing? Yes. Does it have little cute creatures in it and stuff? Yes. There was a little cute foxy friend at the back at one stage. I was like, that's a cute little foxy friend. Cool.
Yep.
I'd play this game this year when you said it was coming in 2019. And then they announced it's being pushed to March 2020. Yeah. So obviously I feel like this is the biggest disappointment. And I honestly feel like the thing they showed at the very end was possibly to make up for the disappointment they knew they'd cause by pushing the release date of this. But yeah, Animal Crossing was pushed. Hopefully they hit that date. I'd presume they'd hit that date. Nintendo's not terrible with pushing dates for unknown reasons or usually announcing too ahead of time. So I'll assume that this was necessary and that's fine. Then we got a whole montage of some games. Some of them we already knew were coming. Some of them were announced in other conferences over E3, like the Blade thing and whatever else. But so I wrote down a couple ones that stood out as either ones I didn't know were already announced or ones I'm pretty sure that weren't announced ahead of time, which are Spyro's coming September 3rd, the Spyro collection. That had been long rumored and stuff, so that's a thing. Then you got they showed Ni no Kuni, which had only just been confirmed by Bandai Namco right before the direct, so just worth shouting that one out, of course. And that's not the remastered version; it's just a straight port of the original.
Port.
Yeah, PS4 and PC are getting a remastered version. They showed the Sinking City is going to be on it, which is a like Cthulhu like game. That they showed off in the Kind of Funny showcase as well. If you watched that, then you had Dead by Daylight. They showed is coming to Switch. The horror, not Friday 13th, but the other one.
The one that's not licensed.
The one that's not well, it has licensed people in it, but yeah. Then they also, a lot of these things they said down the bottom, like full trailer at the Treehouse, full trailer at the Treehouse, full trailer at the Treehouse. Yeah. So we're going to get more details after this, but we're recording this straight after it drops so we can go to bed.
Sleep.
Yeah. They then showed Alien Isolation is coming, which is interesting because that game's like fucking
Old.
4 or 5 years old. I don't know, very old at this point. So I can't imagine walking around playing that in handheld mode. Maybe that's the way to play that game. Plug headphones in, get under your covers in bed. No, fuck that. That's terrible. I never finished that game because I found it too stressful.
Okay.
And I play horror games, and I found that game too stressful to play. So that's either a pitch for you or it's a big old nope, fuck that. And then the last thing I thought of note that I hadn't seen talked about anywhere else yet was that Dauntless is coming to Switch. The recently released Dauntless free-to-play Monster Hunter-like thing, which would then mean it is fully free play everywhere, and you can play on your PS4 with PC, Xbox, and Switch players, and everyone lives in harmony. How exciting!
It's got need to come to mobile. That's it.
All I'll say is it runs best. I've played it on PC. It runs best there. It runs okay on PS4. If it runs best on PC, and I can tell difference between PS4 and PC quite well, considering I'm like, oh my god, how bad is it going to run on my fucking Switch? But we'll have to wait and see. So then the next thing they announced was the thing that people wanted, the people had been cheering for. They trolled. Well, they fooled me for a hot second there, and then you were like, Dylan, you're a fucking idiot, rightfully so. But you know,
they literally did the same thing with King.
Yeah, but I completely forgot. So they have, you know, they got Donkey Kong, and you know, they're looking out the window, and then we think we see Banjo and Kazooie on his shoulder. They're there, and then they reveal it to be Hounded Duck, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they fucking trolled us. This is the worst thing ever. I was about to get really mad at Nintendo. And then you're like, you didn't say it, but you basically said, Dylan, you're a fucking idiot. They've done this before. Calm the fuck down. And you was right, because then the dog laughed, and then they actually revealed that Banjo and Kazooie is going to be in the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
I feel like this is going to tick a lot of people's boxes. It's really exciting. I haven't looked on Twitter yet, but I presume between this and the next thing we talk about, Breath of the Wild thing, these are the two things that would have people the most excited. I guess it just depends if you care about Banjo and stuff. I do think this feeds also Xbox stuff, you know? We feed back into my Game Pass theories, Ash. You know, we'll come back around to this Game Pass on Switch theories this time next week. And then the last thing they showed was a Breath of the Wild 2 teaser, I guess is what we'll call it. It was like an announcement trailer. As I was watching it, at first it was like, oh, Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. Automatically, that's kind of where the brain goes. But then, and it was only going there because you're like, there's no way they're going to show this game this early, because like we know Monolith is working on it, but it's still so far off. Why would they be showing anything? So your brain's like, oh, it must be DLC. But then I thought, like, I could tell, I'm like, this doesn't look like Breath of the Wild. Like, the art style looks somewhat like Breath of the Wild, but it looked different enough that I could kind of tell. And I could especially tell the art style was a lot different to Breath of the Wild when it did the big world shot and we saw Hyrule Castle start shooting off into the sky. What the fuck was going on there? I don't really understand what was happening in this. Someone can explain to me later.
I don't think they know what's happening.
I don't know either. So you got Zelda, you got Link, they're underground. They're going for
some creepy witch thing.
Got some creepy witch thing.
Tentacles.
Some Call of Cthulhu shit happening here.
Yeah.
And then they strap rockets to the back of the castle, and Mario Galaxy
Next
3.
one's in space.
Mario Galaxy.
You can travel anywhere in the universe.
I thought it's a secret Mario Galaxy 3 confirmation.
Okay.
Is what it was. They snuck it in.
That makes sense.
They're like, imagine that. They tease it. They're like, everyone thinks it's Zelda, and it just comes up. Mario pops in. Mario Galaxy 3 confirmed. Where's Hyrule Castle going? Space. Mario's got to save it. Crossover. Confirmed.
Yep. Different type of castle this time.
Different cars. The fucking second one, you literally drive a fucking castle all around space. That made perfect sense. But yeah, so that's cool. That was super exciting. It's still probably about 10,000 years away.
Couple years away, yeah.
But I think potentially they just wanted to, so people know that's what's coming next. Like when people are like, what's next for Zelda? What are we doing next? Like when's the next Zelda game coming? Like when can we expect it kind of thing? It's like, it's in development. Shut the fuck up. Like it's coming, you know?
I feel like they did the same thing last year with Metroid Prime. Like they showed the Metroid Prime 4 logo.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for them? They spent 6 months in
great.
development for it and then had to cancel it.
Had to get somebody else to work on it.
And to get someone else to work onto it. So, exciting. Don't get too hot, though. You know, just settle. Everyone needs to sell their expectations, I suppose, and keep them.
Cool, they're working on it. We knew that. They've got a little bit of footage, but don't get your hopes up too much because it is forever away.
Yeah, but get hype. And Dash is in the chat saying, Dylan, you're a fucking idiot. You need to sleep. And I would agree with that. So with that said, thank you for joining us on this, the last bonus episode of Arcade Couch for the week. We will still have a normal episode releasing late Saturday, wrapping up all of E3 in whole. Any other things that happen to drop between the conferences and the actual event. As was just saying before, we've got this Netflix thing and we've got this fucking Simpsons thing and the YouTube show and whatever the else is going on. So who knows what could happen, what could pop out of the woodworks. We'll find out. Of course, you can find that and all of the shiny things, including all our other shows that we've done about the arcade couches with the E3 specials. ExplosionNetwork.com/E3 is where you'll find all those, including news from E3 and any other potentially cool and exciting things that may or may not happen. Those may include me recording a Let's Play for the Pigeon game. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe now that I've said it, I'll will it into existence. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLA. Jesus Christ, that's how you can tell I'm tired. I never fuck up my Twitter handle. That's how you can tell I'm tired, when I fuck up my Twitter handle. Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLadil, VIVALADL. You can follow Ashley on Twitter at Ashley Hobby, ASHLEYHOBLEY. And follow Explosion Network on Twitter at Explosion Pod. And much like this was up at noon, I'm going back to bed. But really, I'm going back to bed. That's a shout out. That's a deep cut.